Hello, it is early July 2020 and Marina and I are here in the Grayson Highlands, Mount Rogers Recreation Area of Jefferson National Forest, Virginia, on what is planned to be a 3-day backpacking trip. Super excited. This is Marina's first backpacking trip, so we'll go have a good time. We'll be safe out there. The weather's looking pretty nice for us over the next couple of days. A low chance of rain tomorrow and the following day. Temperature is absolutely perfect for hitting the trail right now, nice and cool. Today we're probably going to try to cover about 5 miles. We're going to follow the Appalachian Trail for a little bit and then drop down into the Little Wilson Creek Wilderness for hopefully for camp for the night. So we're going to get it to it, and it's time to hit the trail. Heading up the spur trail, raking out into our first little views. We're about a mile in so far. We've reached the area where the spur intersects with the Appalachian Trail, and we're going to take a quick lunch break here on top of this beautiful view. Continuing to follow the Appalachian Trail, we are now outside of Grayson Highlands State Park, still in the Jefferson National Forest. We finished up our portion of the Appalachian Trail for the day. We did a short section of the Bearpin Trail, and now we're heading down Big Wilson Creek Trail looking for a camp for the night. We found a tiny little bird nest right here off the trail. And there's some horse riders down the trail making some noise, but cute little bird nest here. It's quite small. And I think we just saw the bird fly away. We won't spend too long here. We don't want to bother it, but pretty cool to see there. Home sweet home. We've made it to camp for the night. An awesome little site here right off the Keble Trail. And we're going to get set up, grab some water, cook up some dinner, and enjoy a relaxing evening at this beautiful little meadow here in the woods. Virginia's Grayson Highlands State Park, founded in 1965, is nestled south of the Mount Rogers National Recreation Area in between the Little Wilson Creek and Lewis Fork wildernesses. On this trip, we're using the Mount Rogers National Recreation Area, Jefferson National Forest, Nat Geo, Topo Map number 786. Let's take a look at the map for day 1. We started today in the overnight backpackers lot at Grayson Highlands State Park, followed the Appalachian Spur Trail to connect with the AT. We continued on the AT past Wise Shelter outside of the state park, and then we got on the Bearpin Trail for a short period, linked up with the Big Wilson Creek Trail, and then finally we finished our day on the Cable Trail, where we're now set up along this stream. Day 1 was about 6 miles. Alrighty, well, we've got camp set up, we've got our water gathered, and we're getting ready for dinner time here before too long, so nearing the end of day 1. How has our first day on the trail been?
It was awesome. It was a great time, and the temperature was perfect. We hiked through some beautiful views. We had to hike through some horse poop too, but we made it work, and we found the best camping spot.
Yep, yeah, we got a beautiful campsite here. The horse trails weren't too bad for us. If it had been wet, I could see those being no fun, but fortunately they weren't too muddy or too bad for us. So we were able to get through them without much problem. And but again, if it's been super wet recently, you may want to try to avoid those trails because they were a bit torn up. But beautiful hike for us today. We've got camp here, so we're ready to finish up the end of our first day. Good night.
Night.
Good morning. We survived our first night and made it to day 2 here in the Grayson Highlands, Mount Rogers High Country of Jefferson National Forest, Virginia. We had a very comfortable night in our hammocks last night. We didn't want to get up this morning, but we knew that today was our big day of the trip. We're looking at probably around 10 miles, including, if we feel up to it, a jaunt to the tallest mountain in Virginia, Mount Rogers. So we're going to get going here in a little bit and we'll tear it up. We've got probably about a mile or so to get back to the Appalachian Trail. And then once we're on the AT, we'll start to break into some of the wide open views that the Grayson Highlands area is really known for. So should be a beautiful day of hiking for us. We're looking forward to the day. We're going to finish getting camp packed up and then get ready to hit the trail. Back on the Appalachian Trail and climbing up to the top of Stone Mountain, coming out into some very pretty views on this very pretty day. Here's a 360-degree look at the view from Stone Mountain. And we're making our way along the Appalachian Trail this morning.
It's so pretty up here.
We are about to drop down into the scales, hoping to see some ponies. Probably not going to show up too well, but there's a whole field of ponies right there in front of us. Looks like dozens of them. Looks like there was a little bit of a tent party at the scales last night. And today is actually the 4th of July. Happy Independence Day, America. We're gonna head up on the Crest Trail. Continuing along the Crest Trail, we've broken out into probably our best view of the trip so far. That's the closest pony we've seen cutting through the woods there. Another gorgeous view along the Crest Trail. We just stopped for a nice lunch in Rhododendron Gap. Now we're back on the Appalachian Trail, making our way towards Mount Rogers. Just another spectacular view along the way today. The Blue Ridge Mountains. Alrighty, we're up into the conifer forest that dominates the top of Mount Rogers, and it is a drastic change from the earlier part where it's kind of dry and hot. Up in here it's so cool and wet, and there's moss everywhere. Just a really beautiful special forest for this part of the country. Alright, at this moment in time, Marina and I are the two highest people in the entire state of Virginia on the top of Mount Rogers. Millions and millions of people in this great state, and right now they are all lower than us. Back on the Appalachian Trail. Another set of just breathtaking views here in the Mount Rogers High Country. This is the Appalachian Trail in all its rocky, rooty, green tunnel glory. We finally found some ponies. There's 3 of them here right off the trail. Alright, we got a couple ponies here right along the trail. We gotta give them a little bit of space as we move by, but they're pretty cool to see. They're super cute. I don't know what's cooler, those ponies or this view. I guess we'll just take them both. Home sweet home. We found a nice little area that we can camp out here, kind of in between the AT and the Virginia Highlands Horse Trail, right before the big meadow. So should give us the best of both worlds, a place to hang, and then we can just walk out and enjoy the view. Mount Rogers, the highest point in Virginia at 5,729 feet, is mostly contained within the Lewis Fork Wilderness. Mount Rogers is home to the high-altitude Southern Appalachian spruce fir forest, found in only 6 locations worldwide. Well, I just got back from getting water, and the campsite has been pretty well invaded by a herd of ponies here. We'll just try to give them some space, I guess. Let's take a look at the map for day 2. We started today at our campsite along the cable trail. Finished that off, hopped on Big Wilson Creek, short stretch on the Bearpin Trail until we were back on the Appalachian Trail. We came through Scales, hopped on the Crest Trail, followed the Crest Trail around the Rhododendron Gap, got back on the Appalachian Trail, hit the Mount Rogers Spur, came back down, and then we followed the AT until we found our campsite somewhere in this area right before the meadow. Day 2 was about 10 miles. Alrighty, we're nearing the end of day 2 here in the Grayson Highlands, Mount Rogers High Country area of Virginia. Pretty good day today again, yeah?
Yes, so good.
Beautiful weather. We had lots of pretty views out there, and we both really enjoyed the forest that was around the top of Mount Rogers. Very green and mossy, and a lot of cool trees up there. We've got camp set up now, and we've got these little ponies hanging around us. I think they'll probably move through here before too long, and you know, we're not gonna bother them or anything, but they're pretty to see. We definitely wanted to see some ponies, and we'd only seen them from afar earlier than this, so it's pretty cool to just have them kind of hanging around us.
Yeah.
We're gonna get some dinner packed up, dinner cooked up, and that'll be the end of day 2. Good night.
Night.
There are an estimated 100 to 150 ponies living in the Grayson Highlands and Mount Rogers areas. The ponies form semi-wild herds and live outside, but are rounded up once a year for health checks and population control. For the good of both the ponies and people, it is asked that guests refrain from feeding or touching the animals. Good morning.
Morning.
We survived the last night of our trip and made it to day 3 here in the Grayson Highlands and Mount Rogers High Country of Jefferson National Forest, Virginia. We made a new buddy yesterday and a couple new friends, Travis, aka Highlander, and his group, and he was the one who convinced us to come stay at this meadow, which ended up being some great advice. We had a spectacular sunset. We got to see the ponies frolicking up and down all evening. They even visited us at our camp for a little bit, and we had to kind of shoo them away because they were getting a little too close. We only have a couple miles out today, but it's looking like another gorgeous day for us weather-wise, and the whole trip the weather's been just perfect. Very comfortable temperatures, a little hot in the sun, but besides that, very, very nice for us. And we had just a few seconds of very light rain last night. That was all we've had the whole trip, so it's been a great couple days for us. We're gonna go ahead and get things finished up. Let's take a look at the map for day 3. We're gonna start today at our campsite in between the Appalachian Trail and the Virginia Highlands Horse Trail. We'll hop on the VHHT, follow that until we reconnect with the Crest Trail from yesterday. Take that up to the Appalachian Trail once again, and then follow that down to the Spur Trail to take us back to the overnight parking lot. Day 3 should be between 4 to 5 miles for a trip total of a little over 20 miles.
So much easier.
Well, it's not just ponies that graze out here. We got some cows too. That explains some of the cow patty looking poops that we've seen. There's actually quite a few cows out here, just hanging out with the ponies. Some of them have some pretty large horns. Oh, there's a baby. On the Appalachian Trail, heading towards the parking lot to finish off our trip. Another spectacular day. Cutting through Fat Man Squeeze. Awesome view number 1111 of the trip. a gnarly little thunderstorm forming over there. That's the way we came though, so hopefully we can get to the car before it hits us. We made it.
Yay!
We're about a tenth of a mile from the parking lot, so we're almost finished up with our trip here in the Grayson Highlands, Mount Rogers High Country of Virginia. Today was a little bit more difficult than we had anticipated. When we started out this morning, it's probably closer to 6 miles than the 4-mile range, and a lot of rocky hiking along the way. So we're kind of going slow, you know, making sure we're taking safe steps and everything. But we're almost to the end now. So first backpacking trip in the books, Marina, how do you feel about it?
It was awesome. I loved, I mean, we really had the most ideal little trip. 3 days, and for any beginners out there, you know, definitely train up to it, but this is definitely a great route to take. It was challenging, but not impossible, and we saw so many ponies and gorgeous views. I mean, I couldn't have asked for a better first trip.
Yeah, awesome. Yes, it's a beautiful place, and more ponies than I've ever seen out here. Yeah. So that worked out pretty nicely for us. So we got a tenth of a mile to finish up, and that'll be the end for us.
Woo! Yeah!
Made it.